Hello, greetings and welcome. So, walking Qigong, how do you do it? Well, with any Qigong exercise, it's based on the three bodies. The upper dantian, the mental body, what do you do with that? The astral body, what do you do with that? The middle dantian, and then the physical body, lower dantian. All Qigong is working with types of energy or Qi, qualities of mind, qualities of feeling, and qualities of body mechanics. Mechanically, we're transferring load from muscle tension to fascia tension. So what I suggest to people is to get on a rebounder, bounce on the trampoline up and down until you tune your mind to the efficiency of the elasticity of the biotensecurity of your body. So that's number one. And then walk with a similar step to how you bounce on a rebounder. 2, for mechanics, keep the joints elastic and open. 3, practice the building the ball Qigong set so that the vital energy of the body and the stretch of the joints and the elasticity are tuned. So walking, gravity moves through the fascial web and produces life force radiance. This is the basics of standing Qigong, walking Qigong, and all Qigong which relate to the vitality of the body. So the building the ball Qigong set gives you your frequency that you stretch the body to. This frequency, you'll find that when you're on the trampoline, is the optimal place of the bounce on a trampoline. People who do gymnastic type work and work on the big trampolines, they're very radiant. Their life force is vibrating and glowing just by working on a trampoline. They have no awareness of Qi for the most part, of vital energy, but they're hitting the frequency that makes vital energy radiate. Their mental body is moving, expanding up. They're throwing their mind up. They're throwing their feeling up. They're throwing their body up. The three bodies are opening and closing. Profound exercise. The bigger the trampoline, the better. Okay, so we have these basic concepts. Biotensecurity, transfer from muscle tension to fascia tension. Efficiency of how the gravity moves through your body. You want to be loading the elasticity to bounce yourself in every step. You want to be loose, elastic, and have a light step. Vital breathing allows you to tune the fascia to the frequency of life force, so you radiate. Your bones glow as you walk. The piezoelectric energy coming out of your bones from compression radiate the life force and create a toroidal field around you. You need to develop the sensation of this by being on the trampoline. It's the fastest way. Now the astral body, the feeling body. Now we normally for walking practice are cultivating air element. Everything stretches upwards, the loose upward stretch. You suspend all the joints and you stretch yourself upwards. Each of the elements have a different type of Qi. We're using the air element Qi. It's light, it's fast, it's mobile. If you do Tai Chi style of walking, or Buddhist style of walking, it has a quality of sinking gravity through the body to use gravity to power the life force and the Qi, and it's a quality of swimming in air. So when you're swimming in air, it's like you're in a swimming pool and walking through a swimming pool. It's very slow, it's very thick, very, very heavy. So the mind is on the frequency of the Qi, and the Qi is moving the body at this very slow water element rate. This is not air element. So it's not ideal for walking. If you want to get from A to B, use air element. If you want to condense the Qi in the bone, then use water element and earth element. So this air element is for your basic walking to get from point A to point B. If you're hiking up in the mountains, you want to have a light body and rock hopping, and it's the frequency of the trampoline, it's the frequency of the air element, it's the frequency of the biotensecurity of your body operating at the most efficient level possible. So do the air element breathing Qigong exercises, take in the color of the sky, take that color and breathe it through the vital energy, release time, and then get that energy to become light and crisp and elastic in your astral body. This is not the heavy sinking type of Qi we normally talk about in regards to Qigong and various forms of alchemical transformation exercises where we're distilling energies. This is a light bubbling type of Qi. So your astral personality is light, elastic up, Your center of gravity is in the chest, and you're stretching upwards. The mental body. The mental body stretches out to the horizon. You have two particular types of mental body awareness. One is expanded mental state through peripheral receptors. Two is focal receptors just enough to function and walk safely. So your mental body extends and stretches out, and to not only feel the space, but to get the mental body to open. When the mental body opens, you can connect to the trees and vital breathe and exchange energy with the trees. If you've done the tree Qigong exercise, you'll feel this straight away. You're walking and wow, that's beautiful. You pay attention, tune the frequency, start exchanging in vital breathing, create a dialogue of mental, astral, and physical. Your three dantians engage the tree, and it honors the tree. You connect to the spirit of the tree, and you go from your highest to its highest, and you honor it, and you connect to nature, and you generate a unified field between you and the forest, the mountain that you're walking through. The more you honor the nature around you, the more you understand it and unify with it. It becomes a part of you while you're walking. So your mental body has to be expanded out, projected, so that the vital energy starts to radiate, the astral energy starts to radiate, and you start exchanging energy and interacting with your environment to create this oneness with the space you're walking in. If your mental body doesn't expand out, you can't generate the oneness. You can't come into that state of Shenming where you recognize the spirit of the tree and your spirit are on the resonant field of universal consciousness. That living mind can't, the connection can't happen if you are stuck to you. You have to be extending out to the horizon. Peripheral vision to get the mental body to expand, focal vision to function and operate within the space that you're in, and you balance those two out. So let's revise what we just talked about. The physical body, transfer muscle to fascia. Fascia is tuned to the feeling of life force. Use a rebounder to help that tuning process. Practice building the ball, vital pore breathing, master pore breathing, so that you get the elasticity in your body. Astrally, you're tuned into the quality of the air element. Use the color of the sky. Slow the energy, vital energy, down to the color of the sky and the air, and then stretch it up and make your body light. Feel like a balloon that's floating off the ground. Train the air element. With the air element, sky blue or buff yellow, if you want more high speed, endurance, marathon type walking. And these two air element qualities are the two types of Qi I recommend working with. The sky blue in Kabbalah has a very soft R sound, and then the yellow has a buzzing Z sound. And if you're working Kabbalistically, you incorporate the sounds. These sounds, they're not identical to the way we pronounce them with these voice chords. They're universal sounds that are radiating out of the sun. And when you mentally transfer into the sun and listen to them, there's a feeling quality in your spirit, and then you seek to emulate that feeling quality through your voice chords. Because our voice chords are not designed perfectly to make those sounds, there'll be a slight difference. But your mind is on the right frequency, your feelings on the right frequency, and then your voice will come through with its own unique personality to emulate that frequency if you're working Kabbalistically. Once you have the feeling, you don't need to make the sound if you're working on a Kabbalistic level. You use the sound just as a key to open the door, generate the feeling, and then start radiating and working with it. All right. So you've looked at, okay, you want to go for a walk. You've tuned your feeling to the air element. You've done your vital breathing work. You're building the ball, your whole body pore breathing. You've developed the right type of fascia through using a rebound or a trampoline. And then now you start tuning your step to vitality. You have the air element principle of the working through your personality, your center of gravity is in your chest. Your mental body's expanded out. It's in union with the forest. It recognizes the trees are you. The ground is you. The insects are you. Everything's a part of a mental field, a unified field. That's how you enter the Tao. This unified field, to access it, Your peripheral vision balances with your focal vision. The focal vision is used for stepping, for seeing the ground, seeing your near environment. Peripheral vision is used for expanding out and creating a connection to honor the forest, to honor nature, to honor the place that you're in. This word honor is very, very important, because when you honor something from the highest part of your being, if you look at the divinity within you, the Buddha within you, and it greets the Buddha within the tree, the divinity of the tree, the source of that creation of that tree feels you in a very different way to if you just touch it and vital breathe into it. It recognizes your divine nature because you're relating it to it from your highest and honoring the tree, honoring the rocks, honoring the ground, honoring the pathway you're walking on. When you radiate this type of honor and respect for nature as you pass through it, nature reflects that back to you. And this is the path of immortality. When we look at Taoist immortals who live a very, very long time, it's not that they create this supernatural essence or chi for living a long time. They honor nature, and nature gifts them with immortality. It gifts them with this frequency of health because of the way they honor and respect their environment and they're in union with it. Now, there's an alchemical process that happens when you expand your mental body into a space. For instance, okay, my physical body, there's a lot of problems there. I've got a lot of nerve damage from childhood and scoliosis, and it's a very, very broken body. But when I go into nature and I expand that mental body out, all those things disappear. I don't feel any of that stuff. My mind goes out, the feeling of nature goes out, it all just vanishes, it all just disappears. And then as I'm walking through the forest, I honor the trees, I honor the natural environment that I'm in. And as it honors me, it releases those things out of my body. Now, for me, it hasn't been a permanent change, but while I'm in that environment, it's a wonderful change. So does this lead to immortality? Well, if you lived in the forest and you lived like a Taoist in the mountains, and this was the continuity of your consciousness, quite possible. That might be the case. But it's one of those things where there's a center of gravity, a continuity of consciousness in that type of space that needs to be kept up. It's a bit like going to the gym. You go to the gym and train, your muscles get big. You keep training, they stay big, they get bigger. If you're working on the immortality path, you've got to be in nature, connect to Shenming, connect to the essence, the divinity of your environment, and continually honor and respect it. And as your mental body opens, and your astral body opens, and the life force and the healing of nature corrects the imbalances in your body, that needs to be maintained as a continuity of consciousness. There's a center of gravity, the mass of your consciousness moving forward, that keeps that, it maintains that, it holds it. So this is very, very important for your understanding of metaphysics, that if you're interested in that path, this is how you generate those immortality frequencies. Now, what are the byproducts of these immortality frequencies? Well, the first thing that happens, your mental body becomes very big. You're in the forest all the time, you're occupying a big space, you're honoring that space, and all the consciousness and entities are honoring you as a reflection due to the law of resonance. This creates an environment in which the mind can take time within its own divinity. And when your mind is within its divinity for an extended period of time, then high frequencies become available to you. Akashic awareness becomes available to you. The higher powers of nature become aware to you. The deities of Buddhism and Taoism and all the high frequencies start to open up because you're in an expanded state of consciousness. So everything in which we want to develop in our spiritual development needs big open mental space, needs an openness of the astral space, needs an openness of the physical biotensacrity, and needs a high level of ethics and thinking, feeling, and behavior. And this high level of thinking, feeling, and behavior, it's more oriented towards space than the normal construct of how we think ethics to be. When you do something for the benefit of others, your mind occupies a big space. When you do something honorable, energy expands. When you are in an ethical state of being, it is a state of open expansion. When you are in an unethical state of being, things start to contract. So this ethics, as people call it, you measure what real ethics is by your mental space and the effect that energy has on other people. What does it reflect in another human being? So this is important because there's a lot of misunderstanding about what is a good ethical person, and the basics of the 10 Commandments and the 5 precepts, these religious ideas. Yeah, they're on the right track. But why? What's the metaphysics? Why does it work? And it works because the mental, astral, physical body's open. Chemically, you're open. Emotionally, you're open. Your feelings open, your mind is open when you're in a high ethical state. So your precepts, they not only protect you and give you a trampoline that you don't go below a certain level, but they expand the 3 bodies. They open up your consciousness. They develop you. This type of thinking is super important for the Hermeticist or the Taoist or the Buddhist, that they understand why things work. So this is moving beyond the law of resonance. When you're cultivating an ethical quality, it comes into resonance of the people, and it generates an expansion of, yes, I want people will open their heart to you. And when people open their heart to you, there's an automatic sense of your heart opening, your space increasing mentally, astrally, and physically. You get welcomed into people's homes. People love you and take care of you because of this. And you welcome people into your home and you love and take care of them because of that open heart. So this frequency, it's very interesting in that it's not so much the perception of, that's a good thing to do, but it's all about how does it affect the mental opening, the astral opening, and the physical opening of space. This is what creates the conditions for change. Okay, let's say a person contracts, has very high levels of stress, and then they break, they have an emotional breakdown, and then chaos happens. Everything explodes open. They float, they have no grounding, they're mentally open. Their emotions are all chaotic, everything's open. They can't find their physical balance in their mind and their feeling in their body, and they have a breakdown. Well, what happens during the breakdown? Everything's opening up to reorganize itself, to give the person a new chance, get the mind to reorganize it, the feelings to reorganize themselves so they can move forward past that extreme closing. So our system will always reorganize itself to open. It seeks evolution through expansion of consciousness. Ascension can only happen through expansion of consciousness. Now, when we're doing walking practice, we're simulating that. We're opening up and expanding the mind, expanding the feeling, expanding the body, honoring the environment that we're in, connecting to that frequency, healing our bodies, healing our soul, healing our mind through honoring the environment as we walk. This can only be done through vital breathing, recognizing the astral nature of the environment, and spiritually connecting to your highest and honoring that environment through the 3 dantians aligning and spreading through the environment as you walk. Now, there's lots of research of putting a bunch of handicapped kids in front of a waterfall and their symptoms seem to disappear. There's lots of research on hospitals with windows that face green. The people heal faster. So there's places of power. It's not just green, but places of power where you walk, where this is amplified. Waterfalls is one. The bigger the trees, the older the consciousness, and the more the expansion capacity for those trees to open you up are. This intensity of effect of the beings of nature, they have old forests, old growth will expand you more than new growth and new forests. So if it's a very young forest, you go, oh, this is nice. But you go into an old forest, you go, oh, this is magical. So the place you walk in affects you. Mountains, moving to higher elevations, expands the consciousness. As the air thins, your mind occupies more space. If you're near the ocean, it's more dense and damp, the space contracts that little bit more. So most Taoists and most Buddhists who attain enlightenment, they're usually at higher elevations. They're moving up in the mountains, and the mind is more open. The mental matrix isn't pulling the upper and middle dantian together as much. So the awareness is, it's out. This is why they say look to the horizon. Get the mental body to expand, get the consciousness to expand, and then function with the focal vision as needed to walk and function in the space you're in while your mental body is out. Once you have the mental body out, it's not a matter of looking to the horizon, it's just a matter of being sensitive to my mental body is out and my spirit senses are feeling. When you're vital breathing, you're awakening your spirit senses. When you focus on this space between your hands and condense your breath through a stretch, put your will there, you feel that magnetic fluid. It's the spirit senses waking up outside the body. Your physical physiology will capture your mind and the frequency of attention of your mind if it's inside your body. You've got to put that outside your body. Now when you do energy exchange with a tree and you start doing the push and pull or vital breathing into the tree and any many tree Qigong exercises, your mind occupies a bigger space and a bigger space and a bigger space, and you'll start to notice that your spirit is the one that functions when you're outside the body. When you're inside the body, it's your astral senses and your physiological senses that regulate your consciousness. The spirit senses are the ones you take with you when you die. They're the ones you want to develop the most. And you want to raise all that power into the spirit and then into the etheric memory of the spirit, into the akasha of the spirit. The reason why you want to put it there, because it's accessible and doesn't burden you. Okay, so I hope this helps with Hermetic walking, Taoist walking. They're both the same. Taoism, when you take away the religious doctrine of a lineage and you just go to the Tao are the laws of nature. In Buddhism we call this the Dharma. You're in resonance with the laws of nature, you're in resonance with the Tao, you're in resonance with universal lawfulness. This is what Hermetic studies. At the bottom, you have doctrinal differences. You can't mix low-level systems. If a system's low, it cannot be mixed. You can't mix Muslim religion and Christian religion, Buddhism and Taoism and try to put it together. It doesn't fit. Because if it's a cultural perception made by a human being, it's subject to the intellect and debate, and it doesn't mix. Now, if you go up a little bit higher and you go, okay, there's the technique, we can't mix the techniques, we go to the principle. Oh, there's resonance between the ethics, the precepts. There's resonance between the principles of how they work. There's resonance, when people go up a bit higher and start entering into prayer, the prayer works the same way in Christianity. Be still and know you are God. When you're still, divinity awakens within you. The same principles can work for a Taoist, a Buddhist, and a Hermeticist. So the more universal your teaching framework is and your training framework, the higher it is, and then you can mix and match anything you want. You can take technique from Taoism, I'll train that. Train Buddhism today, I'll train this ritual, that ritual. It doesn't matter, because you're in resonance with universal laws. This is what makes a true initiation system. You belong to all training systems, not an identity. It's, I'm a universal being. And that is the identity that you are in resonance with the universe. You've entered the Tao. Taoism is not something where you stand in front of an altar and you chant prayers. It's formless. It's way, way beyond that. It's principle oriented. You can only connect to the Tao, to the universal mind, to divinity through a principle oriented process, not a technique oriented process. And it's very important to understand the difference. Techniques can't be mixed. Principles manifest all religions. This is what allows you to follow a universal way of thinking, a universal way of being, and accessing the highest. Because only principle-based approach will allow that to happen. Okay, so if you have any questions on walking Qigong, let me know. I'll answer those questions on the Vimeo channel. And if you're on the Qigong or the Hermetics channel and you're asking a question, let me know which one of those channels you want that answered, or the Tai Chi channel, so that I can post it to the correct place so you can view it. I'll be, as an update, I'll be in Vancouver for the coming months. And so if you're in Vancouver and want to connect, just let me know. I'm not far from the center of the city where I'll be living and training. And I'll be training most mornings. Yeah, if you want to connect, by all means, drop me an email. Okay, thanks for your time, and see you on the next video.